Relative happiness and unhappiness. Perfect happiness is not found on earth. Life in the body is a time of trial and repair, so full satisfaction cannot be expected. Still, people can lessen many of their sufferings. A large part of human misery comes from excess, pride, selfishness, and from living against the moral law. Those who understand that earthly life is short, and that a future life awaits, bear present troubles with more calm. The common measure of happiness. Happiness on earth is not the same for everyone, but there is still a common measure. For the body, happiness is having what is necessary. For the soul, it is a good conscience and trust in the future. Many things people call necessities are really created by pride, vanity, ambition, or habit. Much suffering comes from wanting what is not truly needed. A wise person does not keep looking at those who seem to have more. Instead, they notice how much suffering exists below them, and they lift their thoughts above this world. Misfortunes that do not depend on us. Not every suffering comes from personal fault. Good and upright people also go through hardships. These trials cannot always be prevented, but they can be endured with patience. In unavoidable suffering, a clear conscience remains a deep comfort. Wealth is not a sure sign of happiness or divine favor. Riches are often a dangerous test because they feed selfishness and attachment to earthly things. Artificial needs and the burden of civilization. Civilization brings progress, but it also creates many new wants. People soon mistake these wants for necessities, and this becomes a major cause of unhappiness. The more needs people invent, the more they suffer when those needs are not met. Those who know how to limit their desires spare themselves many troubles. In that sense, the richest are often those who need the least. Necessities, deprivation, and responsibility. Luxury is not needed for happiness, but the true necessities of life are. Anyone who lacks what is needed to live and keep their health is genuinely unfortunate. Sometimes this comes from personal fault. At other times, it comes from the injustice of others, who are then responsible. Many disappointments also come from following a path unsuited to one's abilities. Pride, ambition, and family pressure often push people into lives that do not fit them. A sound moral education would prevent much of this misery. Work, pride, and the refusal of honest labor. No one should choose death over work. In most cases, a person can find some honest way to live if pride does not stand in the way. No useful work is shameful. What lowers a person is not labor, but idleness, selfishness, or vanity. Yet there are cases where illness or circumstances make self-support impossible. In a truly moral society, no one would be left to die of hunger. Why suffering seems more common than happiness? Suffering seems more common than happiness because no one on earth is completely happy. Even those who appear fortunate often hide painful troubles. Earth is still a place of expiation, so suffering is widespread. The triumph of the wicked is only temporary. Evil often seems stronger because the wicked act boldly, while good people are often hesitant. Mental suffering and the torments of the soul. People are even more the cause of their mental suffering than of their physical suffering. Many pains of the soul come from passions, wounded pride, disappointed ambition, greed, envy, jealousy, and bitterness. These inner torments destroy peace more deeply than many outward losses. Envy and jealousy are especially cruel because they become a punishment people carry within themselves. rising above the worldly view. Much unhappiness comes from giving too much importance to earthly things. Vanity, greed, and ambition make every loss feel larger than it is. When people live only for this world, changes in fortune seem unbearable. But when the soul rises toward its true destiny, earthly troubles shrink to their real size. Those who seek happiness in pride or pleasure become miserable when these fail. Those who are moderate and simple often remain at peace in conditions others would call unhappy. Real consolation comes from moral and spiritual vision, hope in the future, trust in the soul's destiny, a clear conscience, humble work, and courage in trials make relative happiness possible on earth.